early evening, actually, I should say, on this April day. And we got the GoPro happening today, and we got the front cam going on, and we got the secondary cabin camera that's going on. But yeah, I just wanted to do a little recording, and I got my dice today, as you can see in the picture. I'll probably move them out of the way in a little bit. I hope my black shirt doesn't look purple. Black Corvette, what do you call them? Hoodie? I'm not sure what you call them. I know my other black jacket that I wear, it always looks purple. And my black hat always looks purple. And then what's stupid is I've had a mat in the back of the hatch that's sort of kind of like a black mat that's sort of sitting up a little bit. And it looks black, that part of the mat, but the rest of the carpet in the back is purple. So I don't get it, why that's like that. It is what it is, though. Today, which was kind of fun. It was a 3-hour show. It's hard to sing for 3 hours straight. You know what I mean? Like just 3 hours straight. You know, when you're singing all sorts of, melodies, different lines, different genres. I don't think I sang any country though today. Other than maybe the odd ballad, a country ballad or something, Alabama tune. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so I want to just get out and just get a little bit of footage driving. I want to see if I can find my spot that I normally drive to, and just pull over and take a couple shots with my GoPro. The sun is up right now. I guess, as you can see, it's pretty evident that the sun is up. I don't know if I've got me in my windows, right? Jamie, who's that guy who drives that white C4? That 94. The guy's always complaining about everybody's headlights. I'm not going to use the word headlights today, okay? Always complaining about them, and his windows are dirty. I can't handle a dirty window like a sponge. Yeah, anybody who's watched any of these videos, you probably heard that. Yeah, so it's nice just to stream a little bit, come up, make a couple, shots. Highway shots. Always nice for that. And I know in my last video I actually forgot to what's the word? I forgot to take my 4K off of this camera, and when I shoot in 4K, it kind of makes the picture. I think makes the picture a little bit smaller. I think, as I recall, but I know I had it zoomed in a little bit. I'm taking some outer footage, and then I put it back in here, and it's kind of like. I don't like that. I like everything sort of kind of like wide angle sort of thing. I was even contemplating about putting this dash cam up here just for the hell of it, just to see exactly, what I could actually see. But, then I'd have an issue with the camera inside the car for the cabin, because it would be pointing towards the back. Well, then I could wire up the rear camera to go in the front. guess for talking, you know, for the driver, it's okay. That doesn't have to be in a high definition. I'm a kind of a lo-fi kind of guy anyway. But I like the footage to be, you know, nice and clean when I'm out driving. It's as clean as it can be, I guess, you know. I don't think I took the right way for that. It took an old way I used to get out here. In fact, I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, because this place is kind of pretty in the summer because there's a lot of trees and grass around and shrubbery and all sorts of stuff like that. But it's pretty gray in the summer. Or brown, I guess you should say. So I just can't remember the name of the road I'm usually on to that gets me to that route, because I take another route. I don't really pay attention to some of those routes. I just go. So whatever happens, happens kind of thing. Nevertheless, yeah, it's a kind of a nice area to drive in. The roads are sort of acceptable, I guess. It's going to be bright as shit going back the other way because the sun at this time of day is just kind of right in the forefront, but whatever. I don't think I can find that friggin' road though. It'll be nighttime by the time I find it. I watch my videos. My wife, you know, she's amused how I can just keep talking about, you know, whatever, nothing. I can just keep talking about nothing, you know, for 45 minutes or an hour video or whatever I'm doing, and then have a video, you know, that's, oh, there it is, here's yeah. Thought it was somewhere out here. Prince of Wales Drive, looking for Josie Wales. Yeah. So I can park out here a little bit and make sure my windows are clean. Hey, get some footage of me cleaning windows. Why not? You know, how to clean a window. There's actually videos on how to actually clean the windows. You know, up, down, rub, this way. It's kind of funny because the way that everybody does it is not anything like what the guy does on the videotape. So it's kind of, in retrospect, it's kind of weird, I guess, in that regard. But yeah. So I'm just going to kind of park here. Just like this. Okay. Then I'll keep that other video going. Because I'm pretty darn sure it keeps on recording, even when I shut the car off. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because she's still recording, so that's good. Like to make sure of that I can actually just go around. I can take this cam with me right here. You can come up with me and we can take a couple shots of the car. If I can get out of here. Okay. Oh, so I haven't got to, I don't have my window all the way up. So, yeah, we're just gonna get a couple shots. I know I didn't wipe these that good when I left. I don't like having my window open at all when I'm wiping my windows. Yeah, there we go. Look at that, eh? How you wipe windows? Well, I got a couple little, you know, when I'm driving and I see that. Still got that black mat down there. There we go. That looks kind of cool. I'll just back off a little bit. See what she looks like from there as I take videos. People wonder when you're taking a video, you know, what the fuck is that guy doing? Have you not ever seen a guy take a video of his car? Get that nice sort of angle. From the front. Yeah, she's very skanky. From the side. I was able to get my rims done a little bit and my tires before I got out on the shot, so before I came out on the stream, so yeah. People look, say, what the fuck is that guy doing? Never seen a guy clean a window before. It's obvious. What does that look like back there? That's looking kind of skanky. Yeah, you know, the temperature, you know what? It snowed yesterday. Can you believe that? I like my shadow in the picture. I like being out of it. I like taking a shot, being away from the camera because, yeah, so the rims look nice and everything like that. Okay, so we'll come in here and make sure this is all done up. I think I took my keys out. Yes, I did. Okay, well, let's get back in. Make sure that's closed. Okay, that's closed. Good. Yeah, so all is good on this day. She's still recording, so I gotta just make sure this thing doesn't actually stop. Looks like it's still recording, so that's good. That's awesome. Okay, well, you know, if we're not learning something about the car, at least we're learning something about the camera. I didn't wipe off my hood, but I guess it'll be all right. I like that nice clean. Came right out of the paint joint. Alrighty. You know what? Maybe I'm still gonna do that. Crazy. crazy. You know, I could be out stealing hubcaps or something like that. Like I always say to my wife, I could be out stealing hubcaps, baby. Okay, well, we got a couple shots, which is kind of nice. Just gonna actually do this here. Okay, maybe take these off for this last part, or for this section anyway. People think I'm funky, huh? Yeah, much better. Yeah. So I haven't had any issue at all with my OptiSpark. You know, and when I first got the car, like this is when my issues started. I had two issues: my heat issue and what appeared to be my OptiSpark. Well, I'm sure it was. Because the heat worked the first night while we were driving, or while I was parked. You know, getting plates on it. My wife was in the car. It was, you know, it was warm in the car. It wasn't boiling in the car, but you know, it was acceptable in the car. And I was in there for about 20 minutes when I came out. It had taken us 10-15 minutes to get there. You know, the car was warm, and then it was sitting there, it was idling or whatever. And then all of a sudden it started, you know, slowly, you know, cool down, and the cool air was coming more and more. So that's where that's at, right? I did the thermostat crap and all that stuff. Now, that same night, I went to the automatic car wash, and that particular wash, it sprays the top and the underside as well. And that's when the OptiSpark started having issues, because, you know, I had taken a couple of test drives before I bought it, you know what I mean? I'd driven it around or whatever, a couple hours, an hour, or whatever, it didn't matter. But after I went through the car wash, that's when I started having problems with the OptiSpark. And it's, you know, kind of, yeah, I was thinking it was, you know, getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And then when I took it out of storage, you know, I had it stored away. And when it came out of the garage, it was a heated garage, and then it came into the cold because it was like -2 or -3 degrees when I did that. There was going to be condensation, right? That's going to be there, and it installed a couple times while it was idling. While you pull it outside, and you know, it's kind of just getting ready to drive it, because I had to drive it through like a little bit of mud, you know, just semi-frozen because it was in a back lane. And but anyway, that's. But really, I just had it fail one time, I think, since then. And that's just sort of kind of like right when I got it out, and it's been good. So I don't know, maybe it's whatever issue it had. It's kind of like, you know, I don't know. Some people don't believe in that. They say, "What's your problem? You got a problem until you fix it." You know, it can be intermittent, but I understand that. But nevertheless, you know, as the temperatures continue to get warmer and warmer and warmer, it just, like, it's to the point where I don't even think about it. Whereas last year when I got the car, and after I washed it and I started having the OptiSpark issues, it was like every time I went out in the car, it was like, okay, we'll drive around the block, you know what I mean, you know, several times and see how it's going to be. And then if it stalls, you know, maybe I can I'll get out to the side of the road, or, you know, not be stalled at a light, you know, 15 trillion cars around, right? Which it had done a few times, right? It had stalled. But maybe whatever moisture that was in there, it's maybe not there anymore. So I don't know. Anyway, the vet, the '94 vet is working great. I've driven her probably about probably close to 1,200 kilometers, already in the last. Well, I got this out March. I think I took it out March 30th or March 31st. So it's what, the 22nd today, I think, 23rd of April. So I've been driving it. I would drive it because, you wait all winter long, you do all that work to the detail throughout the winter months, right? Hours and hours, on the rims, inside the motor, on the hood, the backside, spare tires, everything back there, your wheel wells, getting everything spotless, everything perfectly clean and shiny, and it's like, holy smokes, putting a brand new tires on it, brand new windshield that it got in, this driver's window was put in, put in the sun visors, redid my roof, things like that. And it was parked in there for like close to 5 months, which is a pretty long time. And to think about it, that we got snow yesterday. Now, sure, it didn't stay, but, the temperature's been chilly, like it's, enough to keep the snow, on the grass, it would melt when it would hit the ground, but, still build up on the grass. And then today it was a little bit nicer, of a day. Got a little free highway. noticed the same thing, is that when he turns his bright lights on, well, the indicator's on, when he turns them off, the indicator's still on. So he was kind of wondering, what the heck is there? So I got to read about this. Is there something I got to do? Is there some kind of switch I have to put in, some kind of relay, some kind of, you know, whatever? And it turns out it all has to do just with that little fog switch. So I'm going to guess that it would be exactly the same on all of those all of those headlights that have that issue. Yeah. So I got to turn my headlights on, then turn my headlights off. Now my headlights are off. It shows that they're on high beam. I have my fog lights on, but I know I got a real sexy low beam coming out of the headlights right now. Just, yeah. Of course, we can't see them as we drive, but people that are looking at us, they can see them. This year I've been kind of going to the A&W for my little nightly stop whenever I stop. Last year when I was driving all my motorbikes, I would always stop at this A&W that we just passed, sort of in the south end of town. Now I'm kind of like stopping at this one, sort of like midway kind of town. Yeah. So it's all good. Just nice to get out to the wet. You know, it's just such a friggin' comfortable car to drive. Just sick, you know. And everybody that I've heard, you know, that talks about, you know, on YouTube and stuff like that, say exactly the same thing. The passengers that I've had in this car, they say, these seats are really comfortable. I say, yeah, they really are. You know, you can ride in this thing like all day long. This kind of thing, see? So, yeah. I have no idea what kind of car that fucking thing is. It's kind of like a moon machine or something like that. Yeah, so we'll get to E&W, then we'll pause, and I'll get myself a little drink, and then we'll make our way back home. Marion Gardens. Well, it's kind of nice to drive by and see some of the places that I've sang at. Have more shows coming up, so the more shows I do, you know, the less busy I am at this or that, but I want to have a nice balance of everything this year, you know. Some gigs, some cars, you know, some bikes, you know, family, you know, that kind of stuff. Grandkiddies, wife. Can't leave the wife out, get the wife in there. I don't know what kind of car that thing is. Kind of it's probably some, I think it's obviously some kind of import or something. I have no idea what's going on with any of that. I don't pay attention to too many other, like, you know, kinds of cars, like, you know, all the different cars that there are, you know. I'm more into the kind of like, I like the older cars, but all the new stuff that comes out, you know, like, you know, aside from this thing, you know, because it's, you know, it's got a completely different shape, but I have no idea what it is. something 4S. Don't know. But anyway, it stands out a little bit because it's, you know, it doesn't look like every other car, you know, or van that are driving around. But nevertheless, it's always fun just to get out in the vet, drive around. Good. Nose is always plugged though. That kind of sucks. Young boys, they like the vet. But I noticed that you know, in a lot of the videos that I watch, a lot of younger kids, you know what I mean? You know, when I say kid, I mean, you know, 20, 30 years old, right? Because I'm, you know, 63, so it's like kids, but they like, you know, the older Corvettes and things like that, you know. It's just like, it's almost like, well, guys my age, I guess they like it too, but I seem to see, like, way more young guys on YouTube, you know, buying older cars, you know, C4s and C3s, you know, C5s. Which is good to see. You know, that they like the old sort of muscle car era. If you like that, boy, they should have lived in the 70s. All the young guys that are, you know, buying the old C4s and stuff like that. They should have been in the 70s. They'd live in the 70s. Go to the 70s just for a week, you know, just to experience the muscle cars back then, and even in like a small town like this, you know, I don't even know how many people we have in this town, 200,000, something like that. Like back then we had like 120,000, right? Regina was pretty small, you know, maybe even less. But yeah, every second or third car for sure was a muscle car, you know, and all in that era, right? So they were newer cars, right? Because in the 70s, you know, a nice 72 Nova come driving beside you, you know what I mean? It was a brand new car, you know, and they had, you know, nice big tires on it, and, you know, and I think geared to shit, and, you know, those cars, you know, they look good, you know, they sounded good. Some guys would, you know, soup up motors, do this and do that. Those that really dug that kind of stuff. I was never a fixer-upper that kind of way. I just liked, you know, I had a 72 Montego. It was a 4-door. It had a 30. I think it had a 302 in it. But listen, that car used to squeal like a son of a bitch. It was just kind of squeal all day long. You know, it wasn't, well, I was kind of early Montego like that. I think it was a 72 or was it a 71? I don't know, I can't remember. Then I had my first car was a 1961 Ford Falcon 2-door. It had a 198 in it. As I recall, I think it was a 198. Man, that car was a beater, let me tell you. Got handed down to my, you know, from my older brothers at the time, right? And I was the third kid to get it. So by the time I got it, you know, it was very well driven, if I can say. And my dad at that time had bought me a 1968 Nova 2-door. Which I ended up getting at one time. I totaled it off. It was in the winter time, you know. The roads were slippery and yeah, whatever. Yeah. And I had car. And, I loved the big hood and all that stuff. And I was a Starsky Hutch fan, right? So I loved that. I loved the car. And I ended up selling that. I think I sold it to my brother or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember. And then I bought a 1975 red two-door Gran Torino. And it had a little bit of a cylinder issue, as I recall. But it ran, I guess, okay for for what it was back in the day. And, but it looked really good. And I used to enjoy driving the shit out of that car. I used to race a lot, and I don't think I ever won a race in it. I got to get out of the test here because this guy's starting to choke me. Fucking buses, I tell you. Yeah, I think I won some races, but I lost a lot too. And then what else? I'm trying to think. After that, then after that, I sold that car. Actually, I sold that car for double what I paid for it. Like, it looked really, really good. Like, I had done a lot of detailing to it, and yeah. And then I went, and then after that, I bought another 75 Gran Torino. It was a two-door with way, way less miles on it. And, with all the extra money I made back then, I had it repainted. It was kind of like a brownish Torino. It was a really nice car. That's the car I was driving when I met my wife. And then, as time goes by, you end up selling off stuff, and you end up getting, family comes along, and, then you're back to a four-door, and you're looking for a four-cylinder car, gives you lots of gas mileage, stuff like that. It's just amazing how times change so much. I tell you, what's with this fucking bus here? I thought they cleaned the streets out here. Holy shit. That guy's driving like in the parking lane. There's so much gravel and the dust is just like, woof. I hate that, man. It's bad, as you can probably tell. Makes me cough. More than I already do. Tim Hortons in every third block, I tell ya. Well, the GoPro is still recording. Looks like everything is going the way it's supposed to go. So we'll be coming up right here shortly, or turn around, stop at the Dub, have a little root beer, and head on home. Not sure where that little rattle is coming from. Yeah, so that's what's going on in my neck of the woods here. See these cars, they got their signal lights on, right? Somehow I don't trust them all. How many times have you been driving down the road, you see a car coming towards you, it's got a signal light on, right? You don't know it's on, but it's on. The sun is just starting to go down here. So I can turn my headlights on there. It's funny because you don't see them like you do the originals. The originals are such a bright yellow, and they had, you know, they're very sort of kind of projected. You can see the main bulb, or the light coming where it's coming from the most, and then it would scatter away from that. Where as these types of headlights, right? It's more of a focused, you know, kind of a beam. It's very projected, very, you know, give it a little bit off to the side, but it's really projected straight. So they say it's supposed to be, I think my wife says it's supposed to be around 14 or 15 tomorrow. If it is, I might be able, I gotta do some more weather stripping. I gotta do around my back hatch. I've got the whole kit that I ordered. I've done the halo strip. Had these done. And, okay, I'm just gonna let this guy go here because he's like very horny to drive up the side of that road. I gotta laugh, you know, some of these guys, you know, they're always in such a rush. They should give themselves more time. Give yourself more time, buddy. Why are you in such a rush all the time, you know? These people, they drive, you know, at all points during the day, right? Back out to my Corvette junction. I tell you, some of these parking lots, brutal. Headlights. Take this guy out. And let's go take a look see outside the car. Okay, what do we got here? Yeah, you see, it's a very low dim. I got some fucking guy coming. Okay, so we're gonna cut it off here. Okay. And we're gonna turn it off. In 5, 4,